Hi, I'm Charles Lamanna, Corporate Vice President of Business Applications and Platforms. Thank you for joining us at Ignite.
I'm Donovan Brown, Partner Program Manager, and today we're going to show you how the most complete developer platform is enabling everyone to accelerate innovation. Developers are essential to the world we live in, and the work we do is critical to the success of organizations in every industry. The Microsoft Cloud is a trusted, comprehensive platform that enables developers to build incredible solutions. At the core of the Microsoft Cloud is Azure, a cloud computing platform and the underlying infrastructure that enables us to build anything we can imagine. The Microsoft Cloud also offers SaaS-based solutions that provide productivity services, business applications, low-code tooling, and advanced security and identity management. We are committed to helping you do more with less. With our toolbox filled with Visual Studio, Azure, GitHub, and Power Platform, we can build reliable, scalable, and high-performance cloud-native applications. The Microsoft Cloud turns everyone into a developer.
Enabling people with diverse technical and non-technical skills to contribute to the development process through low-code tools has unlocked an explosion of apps. While low-code has accelerated every company's ability to innovate, it also has introduced new dimensions to scaling and managing your developer community. For IT, the rapid growth of apps brings new challenges of managing, securing, and governing these decentralized technology stacks. Later in this session, we'll show how IT administrators can gain visibility and control over every low-code application in their organization. For developers, the growth in low-code apps makes it crucial to leverage the contributions of their business counterparts. In a few minutes, we'll demo how developers and business users can collaborate to rapidly build and deploy apps in what is called a fusion team. First, we'd like to share a story about how one of our biggest customers brought developers, IT teams, and business stakeholders together to create solutions built on the Microsoft Cloud.
Ernst & Young Global Limited, EY, is a global company that's focused on providing professional assurance, consulting, tax, strategy, and transaction services. The company employs more than 300,000 people worldwide and maintains a presence in over 150 countries. EY was able to provide more visibility, velocity, and value to development leads. Using Azure DevOps and Azure Kubernetes Service, EY has been able to build more agile practices and shift into a rolling product delivery approach of software and services. They have been able to develop and deploy solutions faster and with more confidence across a wide range of environments. This approach has been adopted as standard across engineering teams, and the client technology function can quickly replicate quality, agility, and security benefits across multiple products and solutions. EY in the Nordics wanted to accelerate digital transformation for certain internal processes, looking to reduce the administrative burden by removing mundane HR tasks, such as retyping data, coordinating between people, and physically inputting data into back-end systems. Project Harmony is enabled by Power Platform and provides a real-time view of the entire candidate pipeline. The entire data collection process is now streamlined and has led to a reduction of manual processes by 70%. Another example, which we will hear more about at Microsoft Ignite, was a project to reinvent a global process to improve accuracy, efficiency, and the user experience. The general ledger posting process used internally by EY Global Finance Team is a process that integrates with SAP. By enabling entry at the source, EY teams reduce lead times by 95% compared with the legacy process. Fusion development teams have truly enabled innovation at scale. Microsoft's Developer Cloud is purpose-built to support teams through the entire software development lifecycle. Azure provides the cloud infrastructure to quickly build a robust, resilient application that scales and is easy to maintain and operate. Setting up my dev machine used to take forever, but thanks to Microsoft DevBox, I can have the full power of Visual Studio in minutes. Earlier this year at Build, we introduced Microsoft DevBox in Azure deployment environments. These services give developers a complete cloud-powered workflow for any project that can be fully managed by IT administrators. DevBox public previewed earlier this year, offering developers high-performance, cloud-based workstations that help us get coding in minutes. Since Microsoft DevBox is essentially a Windows desktop in the cloud, developers can use tools built to run on Windows, whether it's SQL Server Management Studio, Visual Studio, VS Code, or any other client-side tools or internal business applications. Azure Deployment Environments enables teams to spin up the infrastructure needed for their project in the cloud on demand. Whatever infrastructure our applications need can be replicated in a deployment environment. We're happy to announce Azure Deployment Environments is in public preview today. GitHub streamlines our workflows and processes through better collaboration and automation. Over the last year, we have seen incredible innovation. GitHub Codespaces turns any web browser into a development machine, integrated with GitHub repos, and is great for all types of development. GitHub Copilot is an AI-paired programmer that helps write code faster. GitHub Copilot draws context from comments and code, then suggests individual lines or entire functions instantly. Since launch this summer, we've seen tens of thousands of developers use GitHub Copilot every day. For some languages, we already see more than 35% of new written code being suggested by Copilot. We think that we can get up past 50% in the next couple years. Copilot reduces context switching and allows developers to stay focused. It's no secret, I am a huge fan of Azure DevOps, which is why I'm so delighted that we continue to invest. Today, I'm happy to announce GitHub Advanced Security for Azure DevOps. Private preview of GitHub Advanced Security for Azure DevOps brings GitHub's industry-leading developer-focused security tooling to Azure DevOps. GitHub Advanced Security provides a native application security solution within our development workflow, enabling us to manage open source dependencies, custom code, and secrets across the software lifecycle. GitHub Advanced Security for Azure DevOps has the same secret scanning, dependency scanning, and code scanning with CodeQL built directly into Azure DevOps to protect Azure repos and pipelines. Advanced Security Push Protection alerts and stops a developer from inadvertently exposing their Azure credentials. Exposed credentials are implicated in over 80% of the breaches, so it's crucial to keep our secrets out of source control. And shifting left saves us tons of work. If the credentials had actually made it into source control, we'd now need to permanently revoke them to keep them safe. Exposed credentials aren't the only code security threat we face. Open source supply chain threats like Log4j are also on the rise. Advanced security dependency scanning detects some supply chain vulnerabilities in direct and transitive open source dependencies the teams are using, and provides straightforward guidance on how to upgrade to fix the vulnerability. GitHub Advanced Security for Azure DevOps also connects with Defender for DevOps within Microsoft Defender for Cloud to provide security managers and leaders with a holistic view of security across multiple pipelines and strengthen security from code to cloud. The expectations of end users continue to grow. They demand high-performance applications full of innovation. Cloud-native apps can deliver new levels of scale and performance and provide even greater reliability. Using cloud-native design patterns helps achieve the agility, efficiency, and speed of innovation that we need to deliver value to our end users. Azure Kubernetes Service enables developers to take full advantage of the Kubernetes ecosystem and scale cloud-native applications. Today, we are announcing Azure Kubernetes Fleet Manager. Easily manage fleets of Kubernetes clusters, run multi-cluster workloads and services, and ensure consistent configuration, access, and governance across your Kubernetes environments. To deliver personalized user experiences at scale, we need a powerful database. Azure Cosmos DB is a cloud-native developer database that is ideally suited to power personalization and recommendations in real time, even as demand grows. It's fast, with less than 10 millisecond latency for SLA on reads and writes. Its NoSQL support means that it can easily handle a variety of data types from an array of sources. Dynamic and elastic scaling ensures apps are available even during traffic spikes, and auto-scale keeps control over costs by matching capacity with demand. Developers can build intelligent applications using breakthrough AI models regardless of their team's experience or skill set with AI and ML. If a team is advanced and wants to build ML models from scratch, we have a service for that. If a team wants to add an intelligent support chatbot to a site and wants to use embedded best-in-breed models, we have that for you too. Microsoft's Developer Cloud enables every developer to build powerful, enterprise-wide applications, whether they're writing in JavaScript or using low-code tools within Power Platform. Organizations must enable all types of developers to create together to take full advantage of the resources within their company. But working across functions can be difficult. So we're going to show you live how two colleagues, an experienced developer and a business expert, can work better together. Earlier, we learned that EY is using Power Platform with on-premise integration to submit ledger entries to a back-end system. Let's see how we can solve that with a cloud-native approach. Instead of storing the ledger entries on-premise, we can leverage SAP on Azure. Using Azure Cosmos DB, we can store metadata like country code and currency, then periodically push that information to Dataverse for use in our application. Let's look at the code we have in our GitHub repository. I'm going to use Codespaces right from the repo to start coding. With Codespaces, I get a full development environment accessible from any web browser, and I can start writing my code in a secure environment in less than a minute. Here's an example of one of our API controllers. I'm implementing CRUDL commands using the .NET Entity Framework with the Cosmos DB SDK. I just need to add the delete command, which I'll do now. Thanks to GitHub Copilot, as I write a comment of what I want to do, Copilot suggests individual lines and entire functions in real time right inside the editor. I no longer have to search the web for examples. I can either go line by line and see the suggestions, or I can request the top 10 and pick one from the list. Copilot allows developers to stay focused on solving the big issues and spend less time on repetitive coding tasks. With the code updated, let me commit this change and push it to the repo. With GitHub Actions, I can automate my build and easily push my image to Azure Container Registry for deployment. We're going to host these APIs in Azure Container Apps, a fully managed container service. With Azure Container Apps, I can write code using any programming language or framework. Azure Container Apps is built on Kubernetes and other open source technologies like Dapr and Kata and provide auto-scaling capabilities based on the load or event triggers. Before I hand over the connector to Charles, I'm going to run some quick tests using the REST client extension for VS Code. I have a test.http file with a couple of requests. First, I will make a GET request to test that I can list my documents from the Cosmos DB. Great, I see all my documents. I will also do a POST request to add an entry to the database. Okay, now that I have this up and running, let me send the custom connector over to Charles's team.
Thank you, Donovan. Now I have this brand new custom connector that I can import into the Power Platform to use in my application. These custom connectors enable me to connect to any system with the help of a coder. They just need to publish an API. Also, these custom connectors are in addition to the over 800 built-in Power Platform connectors available out of the box. Now, with my custom connector set up, I'm going to quickly jump into our app and make some updates to take advantage of this brand new functionality. I can see that Donovan is editing this app as well. And with real-time co-authoring in Power Apps, I can collaborate with others during the app creation process, increasing productivity across my team. So Donovan, what are you working on?
Thanks to Codespaces and Copilot, I have time to add additional features. It would be great to have an alert in the application to notify users of the status of updates when a document is accepted or rejected. So I created an automated workflow in Azure to push these status updates. Using Azure Logic Apps, I built workflows and directly integrated them into Dataverse. Using CI/CD best practices, I was able to seamlessly and securely deploy these to an environment.
This looks great, and as you can see, we can both be working in the app at the same time and see what each other is doing. This unlocks a whole new level of productivity. Recently, one of the big changes in low-code development is the emergence of effective cloud governance. The challenges for IT admins have evolved from monitoring small-scale on-prem tools in Excel or access databases that are used by individuals, to governing democratically built cloud-based applications that are used by entire organizations and are mission-critical. With so many apps being created, we need to make sure they are secure and scalable. And figuring out the right way to govern without stifling innovation is not easy. The good news is that the Power Platform enables IT to gain visibility and control over all these applications at scale with managed environments. Balancing governance and innovation can be difficult, and we've heard from our customers that you want better tools to handle your application estate. That's why we created managed environments, to make it easier than ever to govern low-code apps and ensure they are safe for the entire organization. Additionally, after a successful public preview, I am excited to announce that managed environments are now generally available. Nearly 1,000 customers have already seen how managed environments centralize and simplify governance for their organizations, including companies like Accenture, T-Mobile, and Shell. Also, managed environments are included with all standalone Power Apps and Power Automate licenses, meaning you can access these features right away and at no additional cost. With just a few clicks, IT admins can immediately light up features that give more visibility, more control, and require less effort to manage all of their low-code assets. Managed environments give you complete control over the lifecycle of apps and flows. You can restrict how apps and flows are shared and which ones get published. Or you can configure Solution Checker, which contains dozens of security and reliability rules to run automatically whenever a solution is imported into your production environments. Or you can even customize an app builder's in-product onboarding experience with content specific to your organization to help them build safe, secure, and compliant apps right from the start. Managed environments also create visibility by showing top developers and the most used apps across the entire company. You can see the apps and flows that have not been used in a while and should be garbage collected right in the admin center too. There's no need to set up a data lake or dig through analytics reports. Key adoption trends are available out of the box. It has never been easier to manage low-code development. Managed environments also include a license report, so you can see which environments need attention, which users are active in an environment, and what licenses are being used. That way you can do more with the licenses you already have. And lastly, admins get visibility into the data policies that are active for each environment, making it easier to keep your data safe. All of these features can be activated with just a few clicks. That means more visibility, more control, and less effort. With managed environments, IT administrators gain the tools they need to secure, understand, and control every low-code application and developer in their organization. From the beginning, the Power Platform has empowered millions of people to do more with less and build mission-critical apps for their business. Now we're making it easier than ever to become a developer with the Microsoft Power Up program. The Power Up program is designed to help people without development backgrounds transform their careers through a guided training program and community. The idea is that we can help even more people become full-time Power Platform developers. That said, the Power Platform is also a key tool for the experienced coder. You can mix and match the Power Platform with code and Azure services. It is never either or. It can always be the Power Platform and Visual Studio and Azure. This is a key aspect of the Power Platform. Whether you like using no code and purely visual development, or low code by mixing some expressions like PowerFX, DAX, or M, or pro code by dropping into JavaScript or calling Azure, everyone is welcome in the Power Platform. Whether you are an experienced developer or just getting started with low code, Microsoft will help you develop the skills you need to be successful. Check out BRK42 with Ryan and April to learn more about how low code is upskilling today's workforce.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You can learn more about innovating faster with your favorite development tools from Visual Studio to Azure and Power Platform at our Into Focus session with Julie and Caruana.
You can learn more about streamlining low-code governance in your org in BRK41 with Zohar. Finally, don't miss BRK40 with Sanya as she shows you how Power Pages enables you to build the next generation of secure business websites with low code. Have a great rest of Ignite, and thank you for listening.